In your role as senior NFL insider for The Athletic, Dianna Russini, the folks you're talking to around the league are asking you about which team more than any other to see what's what. Like, who's the league curious about when they're talking to you, Dianna?
Some of it's probably because of what I'm posting, but I recently received a few text messages about the Denver Broncos defense.
Okay.
Asking, because I was just in Denver on Monday, spent some time with them. Let's just start with the star of the show with Bo Nix there. He's different this year, Rich.
Why?
He's different.
How?
He's a big boy now. I was with him last year, this time, and my favorite question to ask second-year coaches and quarterbacks, players even,
Yeah.
like, what's the difference? Like, take me through your first training camp compared to now. And so, because Bo and I had spoken last year, he was so transparent. He's like, whatever I was saying to you was not true. I didn't know what I was doing. Like, he's like, I was just, and it was actually so relatable. He's like, he's kind of comparing it like, you're just kind of trying to get it. You're just trying to get through, right? He's like, I memorized the plays. I didn't understand the plays. So he went from just doing it to now understanding the why of it, which basically in anything in life, right? When you get why you're doing it, you tend to comprehend it more. And so from just the understanding of a Sean Payton playbook, he's a different person because now he's confident because he gets it. Coach shared that, with the public that Bo spent some time with Drew Brees. And, we just talked about what's the value of a Drew Brees. And, obviously I'm thinking, he's going to coach you up on how to deal with these kind of defenses and this, that. And it wasn't even about that as much as it was just the everyday habits that good quarterbacks have, what works for them, just trying to figure that out. And it takes a while for some of these guys to figure out what they want their minute by minute of their days to be like. So they're getting the most out, whether it's individually or with their team or in the meetings or in their relationships. So he was sharing a lot about the value of that. So I take all that and I tell you all those details to just tell you that he physically looks different too. Like, he looked jacked, like he looked bigger to me, but he's got way more of a swag to him out there. And it doesn't help that his coach basically stands on every inch of the grass screaming, I love Bo Nix. Just from ownership there, Greg Penner is fabulous, to Patrick Smythe, who's head of their comms. Like, everyone is just so locked in, and they appear to be on the same page. And I got to tell you, they are not afraid to talk Super Bowl. Sometimes you go to these teams, it's like, oh, we gotta just focus on today. Like, we gotta make sure we get our lunch in and we get through this walkthrough. Like, this team's like, we want the Super Bowl. Which tells me that they've got the confidence because they're seeing it. And as much as I talk about how great Bo is, and I was there when Cortland Sutton got his deal, that front five on defense, they are monsters. And obviously the reigning defensive player of the year, and Patrick Surtain, when he's the one like chewing your ear off about the quarterback, like when he's like, man, this kid is so good.
That's amazing, Dianna, because, from what I'm picking up, what you just said, Bo Nix went from last year, this year, went from bravado to badass, and Sean Payton obviously is a guy who can create that. And last year at this time also, this was a team with a rookie quarterback after turning Russell Wilson into the biggest dead cap cut in the history of the league. And you're wondering, how are they going to win in the first iteration of Bo Nix's contract when you're basically paying in years 1 and 2 of his contract a salary commensurate with a veteran big time quarterback. And yet here we are with a team added 2 bold-faced names from the 49ers defense in free agency to that defense that features the defensive player of the year, reigning defensive player of the year, and a kid in Jahdae Barron on the other side. On paper, you certainly can't blame them for talking Super Bowl. You know what I mean? But when you think about it.
You're right. Like, I thought we'd be talking about the Russell Wilson contract for another year or two.
For the tenure of potentially Sean Payton's doomed time in Denver. You know what I mean? Like, that's normally what tears a team down. And instead, what they have done is truly remarkable. Go ahead and ask Dianna the question you asked me in my ear, Chris, and we'll set her on with the rest of the day.
Can they win the West? Can they take down the Chiefs?
Yeah, I believe so. They almost did last year, right? Like they had their opportunities. They're not afraid of them. They're not scared of them. They're
I guess he's not talking about in any given Sunday situation.
No, I'm talking about win, like go 12-5, Sundays, 13-4, and win this division. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Are you able to over? I mean, how could they not? I believe that because they're building this thing the right way, and because they believe that they can do it, that they're going to be better than what they were last year. And look, I know you're going to kick back on me.
No, I mean
on the sophomore slump stuff, and I talked to Bo about it, talked to Sean about it. Just how do you prevent that? It's obviously in your head a little bit, right? Because we saw it, we've seen it enough times. But everyone always just points to the fact that Bo's been playing a lot longer. Bo's like 40.
I know. I know. Right.
He's 25. He's married. Like he and I were talking about, like he's good on the grill. Like these are conversations I have with you, Rich.
Well, I'm good on the grill too. I would go grill for grill with Bo Nix. You've had my burgers.
You should do that next time. You should talk to him about that. His teammates were the ones they tipped me off on that.
They don't put Bo out there. They don't put Bo out there on a lot of national shows. They kind of, Sean kind of put him behind velvet ropes last year. Dianna.
Oh, I was not allowed to go on the record with Bo last year. I'm aware. Patrick Smythe was all over me. No Bo, because he was young. I get it. I get it. But he's different. He can handle it now. We ranked court. We did a lot of fun stuff that I'm going to actually be airing on my podcast next week on Scoop City. But the other observation I made just before I go, I know I've been on here long.
It's all good.
We always, whenever we talk about Sean Payton, we say coach, right? My biggest takeaway was, you see the Dan Campbells, the Mike Vrabels of the world out there. They've got the pads on. They're dudes. Like they could probably take a couple reps and be fine after a nice bath or two. Sean is the ultimate teacher. I loved watching him with offense and defense. He just goes up to the guys after every play, and it doesn't matter which position. I think a lot of people assume Sean's probably like sitting next to Bo or the quarterback's guys and just being next to. He doesn't do that. He's just in the ears of everybody, and he's showing and trying to improve technique and just having these conversations throughout practice. He's kind of tiring to watch, actually. Yeah. Sean's 662, which. So that was my takeaway. I know in social media that's not as fun to watch the clips of, but I think it's one of the separators, and you certainly see it and feel it there.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.